Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's good to be in day 2 of our LTC conference. How are we all doing today? How has our day been? I hope, like me, you have been having a splendid day. I have not recovered from yesterday, and I hope it's the same for all of you guys. It was a wow. I had a lot of aha moment yesterday where I was like, whoa, there were buzzwords for me. Like I told you guys yesterday that one of the things I learned in being a team player is knowing that it is not about the role. It doesn't matter if I'm told to go and buy drinks for everybody, to have lunch at an ESCO's meeting. It is always about the goal. If my going to buy drinks will make everybody refreshed for the meeting so that ideas that will change the world will happen, I will gladly go and buy drinks for everybody. So it is always about the goal, not the role. So tell me what it is for you that you got yesterday. Just a line or two of what you got yesterday. For me, it is not about the role, it is about the goal. So tell me what it is for you from what you got yesterday, and I'll be reading from the comment section. So thank you guys for joining, and I hope that all of you are set for today's class. And very quickly, we'll be starting with the IYW anthem, and I just want to have you get ready for that so that we'll commence class immediately and bring on our facilitator. Today is going to be another amazing session. So get yourself settled, your pen, your paper, and let's keep the class going. So guys, it is time, day 2 of the Leaders Training Conference 3.0. Amazing. Welcome everybody. No one else can achieve it alone. I can see that. Thank you guys. Thank you. I can see all of your comments. Someone say I was able to reflect on my temperament. If you cannot lead yourself effectively, you cannot lead others. Thank you, Ajayi. For me, I discovered that I'm the best version of who I am. Thank you, Jacob. I was able to reflect on how I could have understood people better if I knew their temperament. Amazing. Leadership needs followers. Thank you, Olaboye. I mean, as a leader, your action inspires others. Thank you. I think I am the best version of me, no more, no less. Thank you, Adegoke. I mean, these are amazing comments. It's good to hear and see all of the things we have to say. So right away, we'll cue in our Impact Your World anthem, and then we'll proceed from there. So our IT officer, Mr. Precious, please take over. Okay, can everybody hear me? So I am back, and yes, I noticed there was an audio challenge with the anthem. We may have to skip that. I'm sure our technical officer will resolve it for the closing session. But please know that it was our intention to play the Impact Your World anthem. So quickly, guys, I will reel out the rules as usual, so we are all reminded. Hello, can everybody hear me now? Confirm if you can hear me now. I had some interruptions here. Great, great. Good to see that you can hear me. So I was saying that today our class is starting right away without wasting time. But before I introduce our speaker, I just want to quickly set some ground rules. Yesterday was good, but there were things we could have improved on. First, make sure that you have done your name, your renaming on the participant section. So go to the participant section and check that you have done your renaming. So go there like I have done for mine. You can see my name clearly, Sheyi Oladeji, IYW. I can see Derek Okereke, ILC Unical. I can see Oga Innocent, Unical. I can see almost everybody. Amuzat, Kairat, good, put OOU. Please put your chapter as well so that we can know which chapter you're from. If there's no space, just put the abbreviation of your school, okay? Like someone is putting ILC something. Emmanuel, just put UNIUYO. Just put Emmanuel William UNIUYO so that we can see your chapter, okay? Just put your name, your first name, just your first name, no titles, your first name and your last name with your chapter, an abbreviation of your chapter. Let's do that quickly. I can see most of us have done that. That's good. That's good. So it shows we are ready for today's class. But again, I must say that for our classes, make sure you are properly dressed. So if you are going to wear a t-shirt or you are going to show your face to us, make sure your face is good to behold. Some of you just woke up and you want to show us your videos, okay? I know you are all beautiful and handsome and you want to show us your faces, but make sure that it doesn't distract or it's not offensive or any way provocative. So please, it is a video meeting and there are etiquettes to having your video on. So make sure that you have a good background. There are no distractions. Like yesterday, I saw some of us put on our video and some of our siblings were running in the background. That's not good enough. So make sure you have a very quiet place to do what you have to do. David, put your surname as well and put Foyer. I can see you, David. So put David's surname, then Foyer. That would be fine. Also, make sure that if you are allowed to use the mic, you only speak when you are asked to, and then immediately unmute yourself. So once you unmute to speak, immediately go back to muting yourself so it doesn't interrupt the class. Please let us also remember that today. And then once the class starts, I do not expect us to send a chat that is not relevant to the discussion. So our facilitator can ask us to respond to something on the chat, then we can go there and respond appropriately. But if your chat is not relevant to the conversation at that time, then it is not good enough. Then you are breaking the rules. So please let us adhere strictly so we can have a smooth meeting today as we did yesterday. You are being a fantastic audience to engage, and I must commend you all. Well done. So today we kick off immediately to our class. And I'll be bringing up our facilitator. I'm excited to hear her today. She's someone that I work with on day-to-day basis. And she's such an amiable personality. And when you listen to our session, engage our session today, you will agree with me. Today, our class on mindset mastery, overcoming mental block to success, will be taken by Mrs. Ify Oluku. Mrs. Ify Oluku is a life transformation coach. She's in the business of making individuals and businesses achieve their best potentials. She's also my boss at the office. She's the brands and communications manager at Impact Your World Leadership Initiative. So it is a pleasure, absolutely, to have her engage us today. And you must also know that she's a certified neuro on mindset mastery, overcoming mental block to success. I hope you guys will take advantage of this session. Take notes. Remember, take notes. I introduce to you Mrs. Ify Chukwude, as I would like to call her occasionally, Oluku. Over to you, Mrs. Oluku. IT, I hope she's not having difficulty with her audio. Please confirm.
Hello, everyone.
Great.
Okay, good evening. I'm delighted to be here again today. I'm opportune to be presenting today. I was saying earlier that Mrs. Christine Bayokusi did a wonderful job. She laid a proper foundation yesterday, and I'm going to pick up from where she stopped. But my topic of discussion today is mindset mastery, overcoming mental blocks to success. I'm going to be sharing my screen shortly. So I would like this class to be very interactive. Because of the time limit, we may not be able to go through all the exercises, but as much as possible, I want it to be quite engaging and interactive. I'm going to be asking some questions. So I want you to put your comments in the chat session. So perhaps you've been wondering why you've not been able to execute your ideas, or you're wondering, why am I stuck? How do I know what next step to take in this crisis, in the midst of this crisis? Because whether we like it or not, it's a crisis and it's still ongoing until at least a vaccine or cure is found to COVID-19. And perhaps you're wondering if there's a system we can follow for success, or whether you've been wasting time in achieving your goals, or you want to know what you're doing wrong. And I think you've come to the right place today. So what I'm going to be sharing today will address some of those concerns. So what I hope to also achieve, my first objective today is the purpose of this masterclass is to pinpoint the specific causes of discontentment in your life. Because I also have, even as I speak, I also have some level of discontentment in my life. You also be able to develop your emotional intelligence and understand yourself, prioritize your core values, and be able to fulfill them with greater ease, and as well as learn how to leverage your talents and opportunities, get a paradigm shift so that you can see possibilities and get direction during a major lifestyle or career transition. Please, I'm going to crave our indulgence here. Please do not do or draw on my presentation slide. Thank you for complying. About Ify Oluku, I coach impact-driven executives and entrepreneurs who are struggling to make impact and profits. I help them clarify their brand messages and establish lasting legacy. I've worked with quite a number of notable people, including Unduko Bena, who happens to be the publisher of this day newspaper, Jim Ovia, the founder and chairman of Zenith Bank PLC, where I work and our own general JD, Mr. Joseph Bayeku, and amongst other notable influencers. I've also helped and inspired hundreds through my professional work at the Empower World Leadership Initiative. So I'm going to go quickly into what I have to share today. So we all have been thrust into a new normal way of life due to the coronavirus pandemic, and through the confusion, several people are finding purpose in this moment of crisis and inspiring others to act and lead. This Zoom class is also one of the initiatives of Infrastructure World Leadership Initiative in sustaining the momentum we are, in our programs, in our network, and all, because we had to be creative when we realized that we couldn't come physically to campuses to conduct this year's LTC, and we're having our first virtual conference as a result of, our innovation using the gift and the power of technology. And we may have been stressed, and that's why I also like what Mrs. There was a lot that I gleaned from Mrs. Christine's session yesterday, and she talked about personality types. And if you've been following our Instagram and Facebook live sessions, there was a session Mrs. Christine also took on how to deal with crises, your personality type, and how we deal with crises and how we cope with issues. And beyond our personality type, our belief system and outlook on life also plays an important part on how we cope with stress. But stress is not necessarily a bad thing, but it becomes bad when it leads to anxiety, depression, and it seems to wear us out and it puts us in an unresourceful state. But stress is good in the sense that when it helps us propel forward, when stress gives us the opportunity to think out of the box, like we're doing with this virtual conference, then it can actually be a good thing. Because stress should actually make us think out of the box. A lot of things can cause stress, from physical causes such as fear of dangerous things. So usually how animals respond to fear is through the fight or flight response. So when an animal senses danger, the first response is either the flee or the fight. But thank God we're not animals, we're humans, and because of that, we're emotionally intelligent. So man, first of all, is spirit. He lives in a body, and he has a mind or soul, as it were, and he lives in a body. And because of this triune nature or tripartite nature of man, we are actually more intelligent, and from the base of our soul, we can manage our emotions. We're able to react to situations better. We're able to react to stress and situations in a better way. So there's no permanent condition for anybody who is probably feeling low or whatever negative emotion you're probably experiencing at this time. Please know that there's no permanent condition. Before the outbreak of COVID-19, there have been crises all over the world. We've had pandemics in the past. We've had organizations have gone through crises, so crises will never end. Even after this pandemic, there will still be another one. But what is constant, however, is our state of mind and our ability to see the rainbow behind the storm. So you must find a way to see the rainbow. So either you're seeing the glass half empty or you're seeing it half full. And the conditions are anything ranging from our health, our finance, relationship, body, and death. So resilience is also very key. Adopting a positive mindset is very crucial in accepting life up and down in this tough time. Okay, I can see some comments here. My audio is breaking. Is my audio still breaking? Hello, can you hear me now? Okay. Thank you for the feedback. So I'll go on. So a lot has also been said about values from yesterday's presentation. However, I'm going to probably go into that in more detail. Oh, my voice is coming from afar. Oh. Okay, let me increase the volume. Just give me a feedback. Okay, it's better now. Okay, well, I'd like to hear your feedback on how I fare with my voice, so that we can have a seamless, position, and we can have a great time. So, what are your core values? So, values are the things that we believe are important in relation to how we live our life. Our love strategies, our representational systems, and everything. So, values drive behaviors. So, as humans, we all have strategies for what we do. There's a reason why you sleep and wake up on one side of the bed. There's a reason why you brush your teeth the way you've been doing it. You know, there's a reason why we do certain things. So as human beings, we have internal codes and patterns that help us exhibit certain behaviors. And I'll give an example of what representational systems are. So as humans, we have our 5 senses. Our eyes, our nose, our ears, our sense of taste and smell goes beyond the primary reason. So beyond hearing, beyond eating and all of that, our 5 senses actually send codes to our brains. You know, so all of our 5 senses, you know, help us form form data. I'm trying to look for a way to break it down. Help us interpret the messages we come across, you know, daily. So what happens when somebody serves you hot amala and you do, or pounded yam egusi soup, before you even eat it, the first thing is the food has to usually very attractive. So first of all, you see the food with your eyes, and then you savor it. So you actually savor it with your eyes, and then afterwards you are able to before you actually taste it. And so the taste of the food is not actually in the eating, you know. So the taste of the food is actually in seeing it, because if the food is not even appealing to you in the first place, except perhaps you're in a desert. I'm using myself as an example. Perhaps if I'm in a desert, or I haven't eaten or I haven't had the opportunity to access food for days, and probably will not care about the presentation of the food or how it looks. But just something on a normal day, if I drive along, if I go across several restaurants in GI where you have several choices of eateries to go in, of course I actually want to take my time in what I eat. So first of all, and that's why a lot of advertisers and branding, you know, that's why advertisers, you know, put so much emphasis on design. So you find out that before you buy anything, first of all, it's attractive to the eyes. And what is happening at that moment is that your eyes is decoding and sending a message to your brain that this is attractive, or this is appealing, or buy me, or don't buy me. And so and that's why you see a lot of people who sell cars. What do you see? So somebody's selling cars and it's usually a sexy lady to advertise the car, because they're trying to appeal to certain emotion. So you find out that men usually fall for that emotion that advertisers are trying to cater to at that time. Can you see my video? I would actually like you to see my face. You can see my face. Thank you very much, David, for that feedback. So one of the advertisers, and that's why they use women. They're advertising tire. You see a sexy woman. It's not something that's not related to women. Probably women will have suffered, because advertisers have used us as pawns to sell their products and services. So I'm actually trying to explain our representational system and how it works. And I think it will also help us in our relationship and with people, with our girlfriends, our boyfriends, our husbands, our wives, and all. So basically, as humans, we're visual. So the different ways we learn and the different way we pick signals and we interpret information, any information that comes our way, is through our eyes. That's being visual. So and the way we smell. Some people are also auditory. Okay, let me mention the representational system. Basically, there's the visual. So it's either your visual, your auditory, or your kinesthetic. So I won't want to probably go into too much detail. And so for somebody who is visual, for instance, I want to use because I'm married, I've been married for 17 years, and I find I like to use a lot of examples of marital life. So you find out that, and then and I believe we're all adults, so I'm preparing some of us for marriage. So if you're married here or you're aspiring to marry someday, if you want to probably put especially for the ladies and the women, sometimes when we want to take our husband to cloud nine, there's a certain way we appear. That so that when in fact, immediately the man comes in, he knows that this woman something is going on. This woman is in a sexy mood. So probably the way you smell, probably that you're wearing one of your favorite lingerie or nightgown as it were, and you're prepared his food, in a special way, to attract him and all, and then he gets the message. And that's for somebody who's visual. But however, in all of that presentation of trying to get your spouse ready and all, a lot of representational systems have been used. So the man sees, how you're dressed, he tastes the food you prepared, drinks the wine, and then all of that helps in, communication. So probably if you're dating a lady, it will also help if you want to find out what her representational systems are or what your guy's representational systems are. So we all have different love languages, basically. So you find out that some people like touch, some people like service. For some people, their love language is the act of service. For some, it is touch, a physical touch, affirmations. And for some, it's auditory. They like to hear affirmations. They like to hear, oh, you're beautiful, you look good. Otherwise, you're not going to connect with them. I think I've worked a lot on this bit. I actually go in more detail when I'm taking relationship related presentations. So values provide a motivating force behind all our actions, and they have a massive impact on our outcomes. So there are two ways we also take action. So most times, whether we're moving towards our goal or away from our goal. So moving towards your goal is perhaps if you want to be rich or you want to avoid poverty, there's a tendency, perhaps if you like money, you want to be wealthy. If you're moving towards your goal, it means you're actually moving in a positive manner and you're looking for all the ways you can make genuine wealth or all the opportunities that are out there. But when you're moving away from poverty, it means you're trying to avoid poverty. So I'm going to explain it in detail. So in setting your goal, it is key that what we see, it is important that we set goals that are positive towards to another way from. So how do you define your core values? Okay, I'm trying to also check. I'm actually watching feedback so that I'm sure that I'm on track. So how do we define our personal values? Our personal values help us to discover what is enormously important. So for you to define your values, you need to know ask yourself these questions. What were you doing? I'm trying to assess I'm trying to call up the chart on this because we're going to the interactive session. But we're actually streaming from 2 devices and I want to be able to see all the charts. Okay, I'll just go on. So how do you define your core values in life? So first of all, you need to identify the times in your life when you are at your happiest. So give examples from your personal life, business, and career. And this will ensure a balance in your answer. So if you want to define your core values, you need to find out, okay, what were you doing? At the time you wanted to define at the certain point in your life. So to the certain point in your life, what were you doing? Who were the people you were with? And what factors contributed to your happiness? What need or desire was fulfilled? How did this experience give your life meaning? And what other factors contributed to this fulfillment? These are some examples of core values. So you can use this list. I probably will make these slides available so that you can carry out the exercises. But for lack of time, we may not be able to go through the exercises here. But as you walk through, but you can use this examples here to actually find out what your core values are. As you walk through this exercise, you may find that some of these values naturally combine. So for instance, if you value generosity, philanthropy, and community, you can say that serving others is one of your top values. So here a list of core values. You have accountability, accuracy, achievement, adventurousness, authenticity, ambition, assertiveness, balance, belonging, boldness, calmness, carefulness, challenge, clear-minded. So challenge is also a value. So some people say, and that's why when you find out that when you go for a job interview, a lot of interviewers they ask you, when they're trying to ask you about your strength and your weakness, what they're looking out for is how you can cope under pressure and how you cope with challenges. You know, so challenge is a value that they're looking for there. Now I want your comments. How many of us have ever come across a company's value? Set of value. Have you ever visited any organizations that had their corporate value, that organization value displayed, perhaps at the reception or somewhere, you know, visible in the office? I want your comments. Stop drawing on my slide. Please, your comments. So I am feeling quite a bit lonely here. I want feedback. You have. Somebody can still not hear me. Wow. Missing value. Can you give an example of a value of an organization's value or company values that you've seen recently that you've come across? Okay, thank you, Marvelous. Marvelous, do you have any example? Can you give an example of any company value you've seen? Quickly, quickly, quickly. Value, okay, honesty, service, and quality. Thank you, Christian, for that feedback. I want more feedback. Dedication, thank you, Olga, Innocent. I want more. What other company values? Humility. Wow, funny enough, I didn't know humility was a value, company value until I came across one recently. Humility, yes. Consistency. Okay, so I was coaching a young lady yesterday. If I'm going to be using any life example, I'm not going to use real names, I'll use fictitious names. So I was coaching her. I've had about, I think yesterday was her third session. And so she came to me and she started complaining about how unhappy and how unworthy she's been feeling in recent time. You know, she's quite of age and she's still single, and she just felt, okay, she's not enough, she's not happy because she's not competent. And you see how we generalize. So sometimes because we're not, because one aspect of our life is suffering, or because we're lacking in one area of our life, there's a tendency for us to feel like a failure in all aspects of our lives. You know, so because our relationship is not working out, she actually generalized it and she saw herself as a failure and saw herself as not even competent at her job. And I remember when I started that coaching session with her, I took her through a value elicitation process. And at the end of the day, in fact, her life was literally transformed because she began to see how valuable she was. Because the reason why the other relationship didn't work out, especially they had dated for so long, was because she had a value of, I'm going to be using biblical examples. I want to pardon me if, for those of us who have other faith. You know, I'm a Christian and I use something that use biblical examples. But some of the examples are general examples that apply both to even the Bible and the Quran. Because even as Muslims, we also have values. You know, I have Muslim friends who share certain values, and that is what makes us connect. You know, so I think her value was she wanted, you know, she didn't want sex before marriage. But because the guy in question, you know, felt okay, started working on her emotions and made her feel that it was a fault. Anyway, I'm not going to go into detail, but I just wanted to make that because that's also a very common issue in relationships. So you find out that the reason why a lot of women throw themselves at men is because they feel the only value they can offer is sex. But after that exercise, I told her, look, there's so much more you can offer a man, that you can give to a man. Apart from your looks, you're beautiful, you're all. And by the time she aligned on her values, she actually found out her values herself. She felt better, but she felt much more confident, and it's helping her in her current relationship. And I told her as a young lady, there's much more, beyond sex. So and even in marriage, because at some point, okay, I've been married for 17 years, and I'm like, okay, if I didn't have any other value to give other than my looks or whatever, then what would I be? Because at some point, the man even, sometimes it's not food, although some people say it's food, as it were, but there's so much more. You have the intelligence as a lady, you have the effectiveness, you have the efficiency. Empathy is also a great value that you can give. You can offer a man or a woman out there. So what value do you bring to the world? So when people visit your social media page, so this is actually personal branding. When people visit your social media page, your blog, your email list, they receive your email, when they receive your broadcast on WhatsApp. What is the need for them? Is everything you said, because I have been very intentional about what I think from a tender age. I actually had older friends. I mingled with older men. I think for some reason, even my husband is about 10 years or more older than I am. Because I gained so much wisdom in being, I loved wisdom, and I felt I could get it from older people, older men and women. And so for that reason, I've always been intentional about what I put out there about myself. I've always been intentional about my brand, my personal brand and my image, because of the background that I have. So you will never see certain things on my page. Apart from the fact that, okay, I'm also a professional. And your values reflect what you post. So if I visit your page, I can get an impression about you from your page. Do you want to try me? If you give me, I wish we had enough time. I would have just asked for 5 Instagram handles, and I would have just visited your Instagram handle right on my mobile device, and I'll be able to tell who you are and your values. If I spend 5 minutes, so if people come to your page, your Instagram page, your WhatsApp page, what value are they getting? If I spend 5 minutes on your page, who will I see? Is it only what's that guy that they arrested for fraud? I hope nobody has watched that yet. That on their okay, marvelous. You want me to visit your page, eh? Okay, okay, put it here. Oh my God. So you see, so imagine if a debate, or I don't want to use Trump, I beg. Just imagine a debate. Okay, who else can we use as an example? Visit your page, and they want to employ you. And they say Naira Marley on your page. What would they think of you? But there was a right. I think I was chatting. I was reading up my post in a WhatsApp group, and somebody talked about how he posted a video of beating his child, of punishing his child. Yes, of punishing his child. A celebrity. There's actually, I'm not going to mention him. There's a celebrity that is very, very good at that. I think he's trying to share, and that's his value. So you can see how values. So you can see from this short example how values play out in everything we do. So that celebrity's value is family, and he's always very proud to exhibit his family. In fact, when his kids are watching TV, when he buys them a new toy, a new game, he's always quick to go to Instagram to share. So on this particular day, he shared a video of when he was punishing his child. Not that he even spanked, so this one was not even spanking, but I think it was just mental torture, because the kids were crying, and then he was filming it, and that's against child right protection. In fact, you can't do that in US and in those advanced countries. What a lot of us do here with our children. You can't try that abroad. So if he puts, so the children were in palpable fear. You could see them cringing on the fear, and they knew they were out there in the public there, because he had his phone camera on them. And I think he even mentioned it there, the whole world is watching you. You can imagine that torture for a child. So one of us a friend of mine reached out to the celebrity and said, please take down that post. And he did. And then he came to this friend of mine and then tagged him. I think 6 months down the line, that another celebrity did something similar, shared an awkward video on his children. And because of that, he was denied visa. I think he was going to go abroad to perform. And the embassy probably carried out their check. And they turned down the visa because of a video he posted on his child. So I'm trying to give us real life examples of what, how, whatever, of a personal brand and what we share. So there are 8 billion people on earth, and nobody has your fingerprint or DNA. You're very, very unique. This understanding will help you get ready to serve your world with your gifts. So there's so much. So some people say, because I'm a content strategist, communication is what I do. Communication is what I study. So when people come to me and say they are not able to, that okay, what do I share? What do you mean by personal brand? What content can I share? I take them to this, but you can see value. And that's what I love Mrs. Christine's session yesterday, because she talked so much about our temperament, our personality, and our values. And we've had other speakers who have come to speak on this platform. And that's why I'm going to implore and join us to always watch out for our online sessions that we have on Sunday evenings. She is going to share more detail on that. You know, so values. So I told, okay, I was talking about somebody, and I told, and by the time I did the value elicitation, the person knew what kind of content to share. So if you don't even know what to share, if you don't know how to brand yourself, start with your values. If somebody gave an example of punctuality, excellence, love expression, it is transparency. So if you can even start by posting stuff on transparency, on excellence, in a way that is readable, in a way that's relatable on your social media. So that's one way of getting of actually putting out your message and your brand out there. So crafting your mission statements. So I've never seen a tombstone that carries that Bada was a good bricklayer, writer, or businessman, engineer. So usually when you visit a tombstone at a graveyard, you see what examples, the examples that I have here. So people want to be remembered by who they really are. Yeah, people want to be remembered by who they really are and not by the things that they do. Oh, I'm sorry about my audio. I'm sorry about my audio. So people want to be remembered by who they really are and not by the things that they do. So what are the 3 words you'd like to be remembered for by other people? And this will form part of your mission statement in life. So an example is so Lagbaja was a loving father, husband, grandfather, generous, friend, possibly imparted life. So you can see the values here. You know, so when you begin to work with your values in life, it's going to play out in every other aspect of your life. So I'm going to explain the concept of self-concept, self-worth. Oh, sorry for this. Self-worth and self-esteem. So our self-worth is, once we become secure in ourselves, we do not need the validation of others. Self-worth is the fact of the truth of who you are now. So your self-worth is your current reality. So are you fun? Are you sincere? Are you passionate? Do you have integrity? Are you reliable? Are you caring? How do people describe you? David, if you tell your friend to describe you, how would they describe you? I want to comment. So I'm trying to access the comment in this session. Precious, I hope you can hear me. Please send me a chat on what to do. I'm trying to access the comment in the main Zoom. Yeah, because I'm sharing my screen, all I can see is my screen. I need the feedback. Wow, this audio thing, Okay, so I was talking about self-worth. On self-worth, once you become secure on yourself, so your self-worth is who you are. Okay, David, I will actually ask for your comment, but I can't access it yet. But I'll try and do. I hope I can access the chat, the comment on this main Zoom. So every decision we make is a value-based decision. Self-esteem is when people define themselves by their success. So it's either your self-esteem is high or low. So most times you don't even hear of high. Oh no, there's high self-esteem, but most times you hear of low self-esteem. So when people define themselves by their success, there's a tendency for them to experience arrogance or pride. And then there's also self-concept, which is the end goal and where we're hoping to be. So in a nutshell, your self-worth is what determines your self-esteem. So if you feel, and that's why who you are is beyond your job. You are not your job. You are not your your relationship status, whether you're single or married. You are not your car. You are not your house, whether you live in Ajegunle or you live in Lekki or you live in US, or whether you're a US citizen or a Nigerian citizen or you're from Afghanistan. You are not all of that. You know, your worth is deeper than that. You are more than things. But you find that humans will define ourselves by the things that are not interesting, the external things. We define ourselves by the valuable things that are intangible, that are perishable. So you can imagine when a new car, and that's why you see people, especially in this Lekki, they're here, or they're plenty. When a new car comes out, people are constantly buying. They're plenty, you know the dream that they are in debt, there is DEBT, debt, because they're trying to compete. Lagbaja just bought, just launched, Emeka is having the latest, this one, and they weekly go and buy the latest one. Because what? Of self-worth. Because they place their self-worth on their valuables, on car, on houses. And that's why I see people going into 419, an internet business, and they'll be following hush puppy. If anybody here is following hush puppy, better go and follow him. If you know you're following any dubious person, it's gonna follow them before you tarnish your image. You know, so you find out that that's the reason why there's so much competition, comparison. I'm not saying here, what I'm trying to say is that I'm not saying, you know, we shouldn't attain, because I'm going to get there. This exercise is actually about being your best self, you know, getting to the biggest heights, getting, but what I'm just saying is you don't define yourself by those things. You know, because at the end of the day, that's actually what causes either high self-esteem or low self-esteem. So you see people who feel unworthy. Okay, just like the lady I told you about, that she felt unworthy because her boyfriend jilted her. You know, I mean, and then she felt, and you'll be amazed at the reason why people commit suicide. People commit suicide over my boyfriend cheated or cheated on me. You can imagine. And that's why this thing called self-worth and esteem is a serious business. Because people base their value on the baseless things. And so when you find out that, and so by the time you feel your worth is high, you begin to trample on people's head, you're arrogant and all, and then when you feel it low, you feel unworthy and you lack confidence to pursue your dreams. You know, and that's why a lot of us are actually not living our dreams, because we feel we're not capable. So I'm going to tell the story of the talent quickly. I'm trying to be mindful of time. I think I have about 30 minutes left or so. I'm going to tell the story of the talent. I love myself so much. I'm enjoying the feedback from here. I wish I could see the comment on this other one. Precious, please help me out. Please help me out. I would like to see the comment on the main Zoom link. I'm only seeing comments on the other device. I can only see my slide, and I can see David, Boluwatife, and Abisola. I can't even see myself. I don't know how I look. Whether my face is, you know. Anyway, I was talking about the story of talent. So I want to tell you a story about a boss. About a boss. Yes, loving yourself is very good. It's very key to everything. Self-love. So there's a boss who handed over 10 talents each to him. Wow. How is that possible? Okay. Okay, boss handed over 10 talents to his favorite employees. The first employee put the talent to use. He set up few businesses, wrote a book, and set up a project in 6 months. The second employee received 5 talents from his boss and put it to work right away. But the third employee received a talent and buried it without even putting it to use. So 6 months later, the boss returned and then asked for report cards. You know, just like if you've ever worked in a bank, I worked in a bank. So usually at the end of every month, there's something called, we used to have this performance review meeting where we used to give an account of all the money we brought in. Then I was still a marketer and I didn't like that. So I fought so hard to leave and I was later deployed to head office communication department. That's another story. But I didn't like those sessions. In fact, you see how they used to disgrace somebody's father. They will call somebody's father, a whole papa, to stand in front of the whole, but we used to have marketers from all over how many branches, and they will tell you, you know, a full grown man like you cannot go meet your target, you know, all sort of demeaning things. You know, but thank God this boss was not even as mean as this other boss that I'm describing now. You know, so he came and asked the 3 employees, what did you do with your 10 talents? So they all gave their report card. And then this third employee said that because I know you're a wicked servant, you don't like to sow where you reap or this is where you sow, or vice versa. I took the talent and I buried it without putting it to use. You know, so what did the master did? What did the boss do? He took the one talent and he gave it to the one who's productive. So a lot of us who are not productive is based on belief. So I'm going to go into belief, talent, and beliefs. So what will prevent you from giving your time, your talent, and your resources are your beliefs. Beliefs are basically assumptions that we make about the world. And our values stem from our beliefs. So there's this popular story of the woman who used to cut the tail of a fish away anytime she cooks. And when they find out from her, I think one day her daughter asked her, I think her daughter, I think 3 generations down the line, her daughter now asked, so the daughter got married and they started cutting the tail of the fish off. And then somebody asked her, I think somebody asked her, why do you cut off the tail of the fish? And she said, I learned it from my mother. She asked her mother, and her mother said she learned it from her grandmother. I think luckily the grandmother was alive and she explained that the reason she was always cutting off the tail of the fish before cooking the fish was because her pot was not big enough to contain the fish. And so to enable to accommodate the fish in the pot, she used to cut so some of us have certain beliefs, we have philosophies, we have ideologies, we have beliefs that we hold to be true, that you see, they're not actually true. There are no evidence for this belief. But we believe that is true, that is true. And that rules, that kind of, and that's what we are carried into our marriage, into our relationship, into our, even the way we work, in our performances and all. We see our beliefs playing out. There's the story of the elephant. There's a baby elephant that was raised in Africa, somewhere in Africa, and somebody who was a circus in US went to this African country and then took the baby elephant. Usually for those who are into circus business, they take animals and they tend them, they condition them before they put them to use. So they took the baby elephant, put the elephant in tied a chain, and then put the elephant in a cage. And the elephant at that point wanted to be free. So every day the elephant would struggle, try to break off the chain, pull the chain, and never went beyond the pot. And so I think when the elephant now got big enough to be used for circus, they brought the elephant to the US to perform a circus show. And after the circus show, they realized that the elephant could never perform beyond a point. So rather during the circus, the elephant is not in a chain. The elephant was actually let loose to perform. But the elephant never went beyond the safe zone because the elephant had been conditioned not to move beyond the point. So what I'm trying to explain here is that a lot of the beliefs that we manifest, a lot of things that we do, the reason why we're not living that is because of certain beliefs. Because then the elephant's reality at that point is like, I'm caged. I can't go beyond this point. I'm limited. Whereas that was not the actual reality. It was just in the mind of the elephant. So you find out that, and that's why the mind, soul, body, everything is interrelated, everything is connected. And that's why the battlefield is in the mind. So if you see anybody who is who is poor, as it were, or when I mean poor, I'm not talking about having money in your bank account. I'm just talking about poverty of the mind. Then you need a mindset change, and that's why I love this subject so much about mindset mastery, because the mind is the center of everything. It controls everything we do. And so you can imagine how big an elephant is. If the elephant, I have a picture of it here, although it's not full. Imagine how big this elephant. The elephant can actually break, the chain, because elephants are the largest mammals. But as soon as the circus master puts the rope around the neck or puts the chain on the leg of the elephant, that conditioning just comes in. Whereas the elephant naturally has the power to crush the peg. So where in your life are you facing any form of limitation? Where are you facing that limitation? What is that negative or limiting belief? Maybe because your father or parents never went beyond any certain point. Is that the reason why you think you cannot break that barrier? I mean, why have you not living that? Why have you not started that business? Is it because you think you lack human capital? You lack the capital to start. Why are you not living that dream? Why? I just want us to go, after this class, I'd like a lot of us to go back and reflect. Oh, I'm really sorry about the audio. I'm really sorry about the audio for those who are having the audio issues. I wish I could, or something I could do at my end, but I'll include the volume again. So what is that thing that's limiting you? So I believe influence most of our actions and decisions. Use the questions below to explore your fundamental and underlying core beliefs. So what lies are you telling yourself? So a lot of the beliefs you're telling ourselves are lies. The reason I've not started that business is because I don't have capital. Or the reason I've not toasted that babe is because she's too proud. They lie, not that she's proud. She just don't have the liver. So what you need to do is to go and gather the liver, or go and watch YouTube and see how to toast the babe. David, I like I like the vibe of getting from David. I wish I could see everyone. So what lie are you telling yourself or others about who you are and what's important to you? So what do you fear the most when it comes to using your talent and pursuing your primary passion in life? So some of us need to go and use our toasting talent, and some of us need to use our business talent. We have all the resources that we need in us to excel. So, and then how have your fears and limiting beliefs held you back from using your talent and pursuing your primary passion in the past? What credible evidence do you have that your fears and limiting beliefs you're holding you back are true? So usually one way to break negative mindset or poverty mindset or whatever is, once you achieve anything that is excellent, once you achieve, and that's why I like gratitude. I'm very big on living a life of gratitude. So a lot of times when I'm meditating in the morning, I have a gratitude list and I just list out all the things I'm grateful about, all the things I'm grateful for. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you some of my affirmations and some of the daily things and then you can track yours. And that reminds me of how powerful, and I move beyond the physical body that I am. I actually see myself as a spiritual being, first of all, who is powerful, who is excellent, and who is lovable. So affirmations are also very key. We're going to get there shortly. So by the time you begin to see how loving you are, how powerful you are, and that you will definitely excel. Okay, I think I'll finally. Oh yeah, thank you. I think I've seen. Yes, I can see our comment now. I have wonderful feedback here. I'm going to gather the microphone fight through. Oh, your audio works. Okay. I can see your screen. Okay, I can see our comments now. So what's holding you back from following your dreams? Do you want to share? Who would like to share? What's holding you back from following your passion 100%? Usually I do this in closed groups or on one-on-one sessions. But if you're, this is also a family. If you're comfortable enough, finances, More than finances. What's holding you back from following your passion, living your dream like 100%? And what you like to become? So what is standing in between you and your dream? Please, I want comments quickly. What is standing in between you and your dream? I don't want that. I want your comments. Discouragement and laziness. Fear of failure and rejection. Wow. You're not trained enough. Taking a big risk. Wow. If I'd actually spoke about this in one of my Facebook Live sessions a few days ago, I talked about the reason why we procrastinate and we're not living our dreams. And perfectionism is also one issue. Procrastination is another reason why a lot of us are not living our dreams. I also talked about rejection. Yeah, fear of not being appreciated. Fear and insecurity. Wow. Wow. Fear myself and I, fear of failure, capital, not trained enough. So what's stopping you from getting the training you want, Elizabeth? Where can you get the required training that you need? What's stopping you from getting that training that you need? And then for failure, I think I should make it here too. There's no Superman on it, in the sense that failure is a feedback. Failure is not a terrible thing like that. Failure is just a feedback, and it's part of the process of success. But a lot of success stories that we have today, they became successful because they failed at some point in their lives. I mean, we all hear of we've heard of the Albert Einstein, we've heard of the Wright brothers. Before the Wright brothers could put the helicopter, and that's why I love reading biographies a lot. Read, you know. I probably may recommend some books. The Wright brothers, before they could make the aeroplane fly, they had their experience failures. They tried different things. They had their issues. Even before the light bulb was invented, somebody tried to do it over 1,000 times and failed. But what about if we gave up? Are we going to have the light bulb today? So failure is actually a feedback to just say, okay, this didn't work. So you take the lessons and you move forward from it. And then for funds, I'm going to address funds shortly. I'm actually very excited at this feedback because this is actually the mindset that I want us to break in this session. Finance and support from family. Why are you waiting for family to support you? Do you have other relationships? And that's why I want to talk about that when we get to vision boarding. But I need to really run. I have quite a few things to cover. See, mental blocks to success. What will people say? So some of us are afraid. The reason why we are not living our dream, we're afraid of what people will say, and afraid of failure. So people will always have an opinion, and people always want to put you in their box because they do not have the boldness to chase their dreams. But a lot of people who talk, the people who are discouraging you, are also is because they desire the life you want to live, but they're also afraid. So there are people called fear projectors. What they do is that they project their fear on you. They project their fear on you. So don't let anybody project their fear. In fact, I had a friend. I remember when I was going to resign from the bank. I had a friend. In fact, she was so violent. In fact, when she's on my matter, she's always so violent. I'm like, come, is it your resign? Now you want to resign and you carry the matter for your head. Hey, why do you want to resign? How will you cope? How will you feed? This is on that one. I'm like, look, me, I'm running my lane, run your own. I have finished my course. I want to go into the world of impact. That's what I'm passionate about. That's the next thing I want to do. And that's what God is telling me to do. I'm afraid about it. You can begin fighting you. Not knowing that she herself wanted to resign was because she didn't have the strength to, and she just wanted, and she didn't want me to leave. She just wanted us to be there. I said, look, you you have your purpose. I have my purpose. You know, eventually when I took the leap, eventually she came back and she apologized about how she spoke about, how she reacted to my resigning, and she said my resigning gave her the courage. I'm not saying resigning is wrong, but I'm just saying follow your path, follow your lane. You understand? Don't let anybody project their fear on you. So anyone that tries to change their dreams, because exactly, so when you're trying to change your dream, sometimes you will see oppositions, threats. Family people will talk, Facebook will talk, Instagram will talk. Be resolute in yourself, and that's why I always keep referring to Mrs. Christine's topic on temperament. Know yourself, know thyself. If you know your worth, if you know who you are, and that's why self-awareness is key. Because knowing yourself is what will help you survive in terms of uncertainty and when you're facing opposition to your dream. Okay. So if capital is your issue, focus on human capital. I know there's a tendency that people say they need capital to start business, but what do you have in your hands? What is that skill? In your hands, look within you. You know, what can you do on your own? What is your skill? What can you even start? So if you want to start it, because we also have EU Foundation, so I also work with women entrepreneurs. And I remember when we're interviewing them, she and I and JB, usually we come across all sorts of mindsets. We see all manners of mindset playing out. And then over time, when we look down the line, because we monitor, we give grants to entrepreneurs, and we find out that the people who succeed in their businesses and have taken their businesses to the next level, who have scaled, had the right mindset from the day one. And the people who are struggling in their business or who won't come back to us for more grants have a certain kind of mindset. They find out that their mindset plays out in everything. So people call, and that's why I started with our belief, because the excuses we give are belief, are actually belief. I'm not saying you're not going to need capital at some point. This is not get me wrong, but I'm just saying, you know, don't see that as a limitation. Look at what there are even creative ways to get capital. So if you even need capital, can you write an angel investor? You know, so it just gives you the opportunity or the ability to look beyond where you're stuck and to find a way out to actually get the capital that you need. But before you get that capital, is there anything you can use with your hands or your skills? I think I've drawn long enough from that. Okay, I talked about gratitude earlier. So you need to practice gratitude, get rid of negative voices, people in your circle, get rid of negative voices in your head, and then start taking action. So if you're overweight, and you want to lose weight, so what about taking a walk around your office or at break time in your neighborhood? So internal communication is another major mindset law. So what we tell ourselves is the major influence on our confidence levels and how we feel, act, and behave. If I get the capital, I need to start what I want to start. I don't mind. I'm going to read all your comments later, and then perhaps maybe Jerry arrange it. I think we should actually start personal coaching sessions with a lot of us. And that's why you should join our Sunday sessions. So you will announce that shortly. So if your self-talk is self-defeating and self-destructive, you're likely to project that feeling to the outside world. You know, so you find out that I'm going to give an example. I was going to, there was a point I wanted another job. I got to a point in my career that I felt, like on the bank now, that I felt I wasn't moving. I wasn't getting the promotion the way it used to come. And I just felt I wanted to change. But I had internal conflict. You know, see, the bank that I work with, I know their values. And that was why they told us to do the exercise. Until date, in fact, I remember a certain bank that was laying off staff at the onset of the pandemic. A certain bank was laying off staff. I'm sure some of us hear the story. I don't want to mention names, but I'm not telling you that even in the worst of time, my bank, I so love that bank and the founder because there are values. In fact, he's a people's person. We're one bank that once it's 6 o'clock, you can carry your bag and leave, and nobody's going to witch hunt you. You can't try that thing. In fact, after the bank, let me just call the bank thing. You can't try that in that bank because I had a sister there who couldn't stand it and she resigned. She almost died. You know, but anyway, let me not deviate. What I'm trying to say is that I was there and I wanted to leave. I said it was time to leave. But there was internal conflict. So I went for this other bank interview and I flunked it. In fact, the person who recommended me for that bank job was so angry that it was an EG. See, I had already gotten the job. My going for that interview was just formality. You understand that kind of thing, that you just know you're just going for appearance, because it was an interview that referred me and I came highly recommended. But because I had internal conflict, in this job, would they keep me to 10 p.m.? Because my values, I started struggling with my values, because family is my value, and getting home early enough to attend to my husband and children was key. And that was what scared me for years about moving. You know, I'm just saying about my personal story. And when I went to I met this other person I was going to, the guy said, okay, and I just started mishearing, almost like it was intentional. You know, it's not village people. You know, some things are village people. I know sometimes village people at work, but this one was not village people. It was my internal conflict. A lot of things that we blame on village people. It's not village people, though. It's your mindset and your internal communication. Honestly. So you see people going for deliverance or for deliverance. A lot of times the deliverance we need is in our mind, first of all. If you deliver your mind there, no village person can even get to you. Because first of all, you know you're even powerful above the village people. You know, what I'm not saying is that because I had so much internal conflict, I struggled in that interview. I didn't put up my best self. In fact, the man was like, did they force you to come? And it was not feedback to get to each of the other bank. And that relationship has been strength to it. Because I can't even go back to the lady that is peradventure. I don't see myself going back to that line again, to that industry. You know, again, you know. So internal conflict is key. What are you telling yourself? So I already felt defeated. So it appeared in my composure. In fact, the way I sat, my composure, it was obvious that there was something off. Because she described everything. The man gave him low down that you brought this lady and she looked as if they forced her to come and take the job. Why? Because I was struggling internally. My mind, my spirit wanted to leave, but my body, or I don't know which one is body or spirit, but they were not sure alive. Anyway, so I think I've explained that enough. So affirmations are one of the most successful self-developing techniques to reprogram thinking and empower yourself. Thank you, so right on. Oh, sorry about the network issue. So affirmations are very key. So affirmations help us create new thought processes. So I'm going to show you my affirmations quickly. A positive mental attitude is also a prerequisite for the achievement of your goals. So creating a new belief system. So what are some of the things you've been saying to yourself? Your thoughts are powerful. I just gave you an instance of how I lost the major, and the position they were giving me was higher. It was times two levels of I was going to get 2 levels higher, bigger salary. But my value, and that's why value is so important. You can see how value drives our behavior. My value was family, my husband, my children. Will I get home on time? Will this job make me go travel at odd hours? Will it mean what at odd hours? Will it require me to come to work on weekends? And that's how I lost that opportunity. You know? So what are the experiences you want to achieve? Do you want success, clarity, fame, increase in followers on your social media pages, global visibility, highly sought after? Do you want to be an award-winning influencer? Do you want to give back to humanity? What are the experiences you want to achieve? Please put that in your comment section quickly. So what do you want? Is it success? Is it money? Is it fame? You want increase in followers? Is it your business? Do you want to be the next Dangote? Anything you want, just put it there. You know, because there's so much power in the written word and in the spoken word. So create your belief list. So believe are the principles that drive our actions in life. I'm going to round off so that we can take questions. Beliefs are the principles that drive our actions in life, and they help us make sense of the world around us. So this is my own belief. I believe that I attract my dear clients from all over the world, and they cannot get enough of my teachings. They show up as I teach, they share my content, and they invite their friends to come and learn from me. I believe that I'm blessed with the anointing of peace all day, every day, and I'm consistent in building my business daily. And I'm focusing on my activities necessary to create $500 a month. But I'm going to increase it after this session. $500 a month is too small. And that's limited. So I'm creating more wealth and positive impact than I ever knew was humanly possible for me. So now it's time to create your belief list. Actually, this session, this belief list is actually a full module on its own. So I'm just trying to, you know, give us the meat of the matter. Thank you, David. Make my brand know. Going into digital marketing, going my handles. Okay. I want more. So what's your belief? What's your belief? I'm trying to get a globally, oh my God, David, I love it. A globally recognized recycling company, creating employment for every undergraduate while they study. This is powerful. I mean, JP is doing a great job. I know the giant is raising. To touch like through acting. This is profound. I want to be a renowned public speaker and move my country forward health-wise. This is beautiful. To influence and make people know they are very important in their generation, especially Black Lives Matter. Wow, Ajayi, this is awesome. This is amazing. Happy birthday, giving back to community. Now, Najim is a successful entrepreneur. See, because this is not a session, this is just, you know, about mindset block. You know, so usually when I take people one-on-one, I have them craft their brand message, I have them craft their beliefs in a way that makes it, you know, that just makes it register on the mind. But this is powerfully, these are powerful statements in themselves. I want to be a world-class space lawyer and positively influence the African space sector for the growth of the continent. Wow, Nelly, President Nelly. Wow, have a great career. International political influence, global visibility, giving back to humanity. Please just keep sending your comments as I move on. Please send your comments because I'm going to round up shortly. I'm going to read your comments as we progress. Create your belief, please send it. I want to own my publishing firm. Oh, marvelous. I want to own my publishing firm and the art gallery. So you can see that we all have dreams. We all have dreams. So what I'm going to round up with is how you can make this happen. Everything you have written here can happen. It is possible. And one tool we can use is the power of visualization. You know, I remember a story in the Bible when God took Abraham to a spot and told him to count the number of stars in the sky. And then what God was trying to do at that point was to make him see what was possible. So visualization is a mental rehearsal. You create images in your mind of having or doing whatever it is you want. So what have you been focusing on? What have you allowed into your heart? What have you said before your eyes? What you believe is possible. So every single thing I've written here, do you believe it's possible? It's your eyes on it. Have you allowed it into your heart? So the key to visualization is to visualize that, to visualize the things you're saying and seeing. And that's why I talked about our representational system. You know, that we see the food, we savor it with our eyes, and then before the actual eating and all, and how we interpret and how it motivates us and also forms our behaviors. So you have to see it before you experience it. So this is how you create a vision board. So having visualized your goal, next, create your vision board. So a vision board is a collection of images and notes attached to a board and placed somewhere that you can see every day. So you can cut out, so this is your take home, this is your assignment, your exercise, take home, homework. So just cut out your dream, whatever it is, your dream house, where you want to spend your vacation. If there was time, I would have taken you bit by bit on this. But if David permits, I'm going to have one of our Sunday sessions. I'm going to take us on creating your vision board on Zoom. So that's, you know, a practical one. You know, so the use of vision board has been scientifically proven to be able to increase the activity of visualization through our mind. So it's important that you're intentional on what you want in your life. So do you want to build a multi-million business? Everything you have put here, you can actually visualize it. You can get pictures. So let me give an instance. I think that will take time, but let me stick to what I have here. So get the pictures that reflect the new you, not the David that is watching this, that is in this LTC Zoom training. We're not talking of the bullet point. So you can say they go for 5 years from now. What do you want to do? So whatever you want, you can visualize it and create a vision board around it. So imagine your career, your finances, your family, your health, your relationship 5 years from now. So begin to see yourself 5 years from now, and then start working from there. Because what you see consistently over time, will enter your heart. So for instance, I'll give you an instance. So for your career, so imagine your career as of today and where you're going to be 5 years from now, and then write down your thoughts. So you can write it down and later start cutting down papers to visualize it. So are you on top of the industry, your career? Have you gone global? So if you want to go global, I see a lot of people who are ready to go global. People want to set up industries. So 5 years from now, visualize yourself. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What can you taste? Who are the people with? Are you with Obama or Nkrumah? Who are you with? Who is probably cutting the tape to that new industry? And for let me talk about empowering widows. Okay, let me use Marvelous. Marvelous wants to establish a publishing firm. So 5 years from now, Marvelous, do you see yourself in that publishing firm? Can you see yourself organizing an exhibition, and you can actually see the guests? They're coming for your talk, to see your gallery. Do you see yourself going on tours nationwide? So let's not use this COVID-19 as an excuse, though. Because all these dreams here, COVID-19 will soon end, they will find a cure, a vaccine. And then where are you with your dreams? And then for David, 5 years from now, can you be counted among the top 10 digital marketing experts? So you can create your dream around that. On your health, what are you eating? So if you want to be healthy in 5 years' time, now you start it. Not that you pack all the sugar, you drink Zobo, you mix everything together. In 5 years' time, you want to be healthy. So if you want to be healthy in 5 years' time, you don't want to be dealing with diabetes or anything. You actually need to start now. What are you putting into your body? For your relationship, who are the people in your circle? Are you in IFC? And for those of you who are not in IFC, this is what we're talking about. Do you attend club meetings? Are you participating? Are you making your contribution? If you cannot make a contribution in this sphere that you have, in this responsibility that have been handed to you, how can you take on bigger responsibilities? So everything ties in. Wow. So your vision board will make you positive and fulfilled. It will make you creative and fulfill your dream. So you are as great as your daily routine. So some of us are waiting for one future where everything will just work out. In fact, I remember I did another live session. I was talking about waiting for the perfect time. There's nothing like waiting for the perfect time of professionalism. Just do your homework. So I saw a comment earlier on somebody said I've not gotten training. So get the training. What's stopping you from getting the training? I'm going to leave so I'll be willing to take questions after now. I left my number is there at the end of the slide. I really want to see all of this manifest in 5 years or even less. Honestly. So what is the resources? What are the resources? What are the skills? What are those skills you need to acquire now for that desired future? This is the time to do the work. Aristotle said we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an art, but a habit. So what are you doing daily? What is your routine? And we are all humans. Human is a creature of habit. And the quality of our life simply is the quality of our habit. So if you're not happy with the quality of your life, check your habits. So this is what I do every morning or most mornings. So I start with my belief list. So make sure you create your belief list. I read it to myself, I meditate on them, I pray on them, and I visualize them, and then I take a moment to look within. We'll make this slide available because I'm not going to touch on all of that. I want to take questions. Please ask your questions. But before Sheyi comes up, please, let me just round up with this. What's your wow factor? So many people define themselves by what people have said about them. So I want you to step into the consciousness of who you are and what makes you unique in the marketplace. So what do you love doing? So for this is actually for those of us who were not able to, who haven't actually defined what they want to do. Some of us at this stage, I'm really, really impressed that a lot of us have an idea of our dreams or the legacy we want to leave. But some of us actually at the point where we've not get clarity on our calling, on our purpose or our passion. So questions you can ask yourself, okay, what do you love doing? What do I love doing? What am I naturally good at? If somebody taps you up and wakes you up from the sleep, what can you do without blinking an eye? So the truth is, what some people are losing their sleep over to accomplish is what some of us can do in our sleep. Find it. That thing that comes naturally to you. And then you get money when you give that value. What do people say when you're not in the room? The principle of vision. So I think I said a lot about vision. So this is actually a vision clarity session. I'm not going to. Okay, so this project, if the slide is made available to you, I would like you to carry out this project on your own. So this is just like a 12-month project. So imagine that you're sitting with a trusted friend 12 months from now. You're looking back over the last 12 months, feeling to feel that you have worked hard based on your vision board. Now you've created your belief list. So I want you to take note of the order. You created your belief list, you have your vision board, and now you're embarking on your business project in probably 4 phases. So imagine yourself, if you're clicking above this, sorry, I saw a comment. That's why I'm laughing. And you made something important happen. There are no rules or guidelines to these 4 projects. So if we just look back, so it's 5 years from now, or it's 12 months from now. What have you done with your business project? So these are questions you can ask, especially for those who are trying to discover their passion, who haven't really found out their passion or their calling. So questions you can ask yourself, okay, what interests me? What do I need to learn? What am I good at? What skills do I have? What do I know? Who can help me? What can I offer that other people need? So there's somebody who's waiting for your solution. David, all of you. There's somebody who's waiting for your solution. The world is waiting for your solution. The second project is the Make a Difference project. So what am I passionate about? What am I good at? What skills do I have? What do I know? Who can help me? And what's my first step? Okay. See, before I take questions, there's something I think I should mention that's very crucial. On this vision, on creating a compelling future, to create a compelling future, pick one of your goals that you intend to accomplish over a time frame. You know, some of what virtually everything we've listed here in our comment sections are goals. So pick one, because I can't really, there's no time to actually go into detail. But pick one with your eyes closed or open. Develop a picture of you having achieved this goal, and then turn the picture into a movie. See the persons in that movie, what can you see, what is happening, and all of that. I think I explained this earlier. Okay, I'm going to end on this note. I think I've pretty much shared all the crucial things. At least with the exercises that we have done so far and the assignment that I've given, I think we can run with this. We can run with it. Of course, you can come up right now and take questions. Please send your questions. Send your questions. So I'm trying to actually take what I also need to address from comments.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ify Oluku, for that very insightful and thought-provoking session. So now is the time for us to ask our questions. So I'll quickly, okay, I can see. Please do not raise your hand if you don't have questions. So we can take questions quickly. So if you have any questions to ask, just raise your hand. Okay, I can see. So we'll take 3 quick questions, and then please, you will know this question, Mrs. Oluku, so that everybody, each of them will ask first 3 questions. We'll take it quickly, then we'll see if you can take another, maybe 1 before we close. Okay. So I will start with Ogechi Sobechukwu Lawrence from UNIO. Please unmute him and make your questions very direct, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, leaders. My name is Sobechukwu from University of Uyo. So about what core values are, we've seen that our values provide the motivating force behind our actions, and therefore they are massive impact to outcomes. So my question is, where such outcomes endangers more people than those it serves? Are we advised to retrain from such actions, or have we not actually found our values? Thank you.
Oh,
thank you. Question noted. So I'll take the second one. Sorry. So it's quick in succession to manage time. Adeonyi Cornelius. We'll quickly take that. Then Adeonyi, go ahead. Quickly with your question.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. My question is actually direct, and the question is, if you are on the journey of gaining mastery in a field, and sometimes it seems like you are frustrated and you keep failing when you are practicing and you are giving it all it takes, does it mean you should quit and look for another thing to do, or you should stay with it because that's your passion? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adedoyin. We'll take one last question, then Mrs. Oluku can respond.
Oh, okay, share your back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I was saying that I think there's a challenge with unmuting Olalekan, who is supposed to be the next person asking the question. So I think we can go on with the 2 questions asked so far, then we'll continue. Okay. We have about 5 or so, 10 minutes to take questions. Go ahead, please.
Okay, the first question, I think that's actually very, very crucial when forming our values. There's something called congruency. Congruency of values means your values need to align with need to align. Okay, let's give an example of congruency of values using some of the biographies and examples that I've also read from most of the Fortune 500 companies. There's a particular company that actually fell or was dissolved because they were not they were not truthful in their records. I think they falsified their records and they went public to sell shares, deceiving the American community. And then when they they were exposed, the company lost, of course, the company couldn't survive it because everything they had built, their reputation, their sources, everything they built was on falsehood. And however, did they have their values right? Their values was excellence, success. So it's only that some people because people want to be successful at all means, and they want to be seen to be powerful at all means, they let other values suffer. I'll give an instance. For ritualists, People, there's a reason behind every behavior. For a rapist, the reason why people rape is because of a certain behavior and a certain mindset. A ritualist also has a belief, a valid belief on why they use people for rituals. Why? Because they want to be powerful, they want to be seen to be contributing. And you find that, and that's why you see people after robbing, even robbers. So I'm trying to use all of these examples to drive my message on. So you find out that even robbers rob and they go to churches to give offering and tithe. You know why? Because they believe they're taking from the masses or they're taking from the rich to empower the poor. So what do they do? But I mean, how does one group erode the bad that's been done? You know, so in the process of trying to help the masses or to help themselves does not justify robbery. And because the company wants to have success, excellence, be number one, so you find out that sometimes that's why at some point I stopped following all these people who, there's nothing wrong in saying I'm the topmost leader, renowned. You know, all of these titles is the reason why we are where we are. And that's even the reason for the corruption, the prevalent corruption that has eaten into the fabric of our nation, Nigeria. Because we're not selling the right values, even in our religious homes. And that's why I love what David does a lot. But he's making a shift in the religious setting and he's trying to change the mind map, to change what we value as a nation. And then we find out that building a nation starts from the home. So as a husband or a wife, what values are you even passing? Because some of us are going to get married. It's crucial that we pass on the right values to our children, because the values that our children reflect at home, the character that we develop in them, is what will play out in the job. So you find out that the reason that accountant skills and specified figure is a value that has been passed. So I think I've answered the question with all of these examples. So our values need to align. Fine, I want to make profits, but do I have to cheat in order to make my profit or meet my target? No. So, and that, because at that point, values are not aligned. Because in trying to make profit, I have, okay, take the NDDC case, the recent NDDC fainting senator or chairman as it were. So you find out that you can see the results in the National Assembly at all the realms, legislature, the executive and judiciary arms. In the political sphere, what you see our leaders playing out as senators are eroded core values. And as you see a full-grown man coming to faith, you see people putting up collars because they lack integrity. Because when the chiefs are done and it's time for them to answer and give to answer or bear the card as well, they come up with all sorts of gimmicks to escape being probed. So you see all this playing out. And why? Because of a need. So you find out that there's a driving need, there's a motivation behind every action we take. And most of the time it's because we want to own all the houses in the world. We want to build houses in Dubai. So we have to also go to buy houses in Dubai, houses that they don't even live in. They're trying to gather posterity for their generations unborn, up to I don't know how many generations. So there's this attitude we have about always wanting to take and take and take. We're not a giving nature. Even Nigerians, we don't have a giving culture. And that's why I take pride in Mr. and Mrs. Oduma Kinde and this great initiative of Impact Award. And people find it difficult to believe that there's no organization sponsoring us. I'm not sure I'm supposed to say this, but I'm just I just feel fired up in me right now. Perhaps the change will start from our ISC Cup, the change that we need in our nation is from you and I, and that's why Engineer Dumakine is making this huge sacrifice. That's why JB has poured out himself and is constantly pouring himself into all of us, and that's why she is always at your neck or your tail, trying to make you set up, because if you don't take it up, nobody else will. So what values? Our values play out every day, and they need to align. Our values need to be congruent. Nobody needs to suffer. So if my value of excellence, of success, of fame is going to make my husband, going to make my home suffer, then it's not, and my values are not aligned, at that point. I think I've brought so much on that question. I think I've made my point on that. So our values need to align. And that's why I gave the example of the bank job that I closed, bank job interview, because it was a struggle of values, because I didn't want one value to suffer, because I wanted to meet my goal. I wanted to get to, I had However, some women are able to manage it regardless. The women and men, some people are able to manage. I know some of my colleagues who have actually gotten to the height of their career, and they still have very happy homes, but our values always clear, and it has to be aligned and congress, and sometimes it's personal. So that's why I explained it at the personal level, family level, and at the national level. So for the second question, the reason why we have finance coaches, we have leadership coaches, we have relationship coaches. I'm not talking about because right now everybody is a life coach, everybody claims to be a life coach, everybody claims to be a coach. But I'm sure you will eventually tell the difference or the substance when you encounter one on who is trained or who knows their onions or not. But what I'm saying in essence is the reason why we have the 35 coaches, we have mentors, is because they have gained experiences. They have the technical work. They have understanding of certain, or they've mastered certain things. So what our advice is, you didn't mention the nature of the business, so I'm going to give a generalized answer, because there's even no time to go into the detail. But the advice I'm going to give is, look, the truth is, businesses have failed, businesses will continue to fail. And more businesses have succeeded, more businesses will continue to succeed. If it is not working, if you have done all your work, are they on you, right? If you have done all and that's why read, and that's why, in fact, I wish I could get it so I could address it in particular. But what I'm saying in essence is, if you've done your research, you've done your business plan, and everything does not add up, and you know that there's no way that business will survive, I beg, leave the business. Do you understand? See, this entrepreneur thing, I'm an entrepreneur, it's not a do or die affair. I'm not even saying don't be an entrepreneur or you're not capable of starting a business. It may just be that particular business is not something you can go into now. It may be perhaps you've not studied or mastered the industry well enough to know how to make it work. Okay, please not the business. I think that will help me answer your question better. But what I'm saying, but what I talk about all these things, the coaches and all that sometimes we can learn from other people. So if there's somebody who's already succeeding in your industry, can you go and learn from them? Can you go and study how they succeeded and what they did? If you have a mentor who is successful in business, is there something you can glean from them? So you can get a coach, get a business coach. We have business coaches who can take you through that, and then you may just need to drop it and start another business. Or however, there's a reason why that business has not moved on, and that's what you need to do. Do you have a structure? Is it a problem of structure? There's so many things involved in entrepreneurship. So it may even be a question of the structure. Wow, that is perfect. It may be a structural problem. It may just be funds. Maybe be general funds or whatever it is. But I'm sure either way, either the business moves on or not. I think I've answered those questions.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, because of time, we may have to close it here. I know some of us may still have questions. But of course, if you do have questions, we'll share the email of Mrs. Ify Oluku subsequently so that you can send in your questions and then get appropriate responses to those questions. We must thank you most kindly, Mrs. Ify Oluku, for the very insightful session, how you have poured yourself out. The take home for me is I must identify my core values. What are my core values? My core values are the center of defining who I am and mastering myself. That is very resounding for me. Secondly, what is stopping me from living my dreams? What is stopping me from living my dreams? Those questions have lingered in my mind, and I must say that this session has been quite thought-provoking, and tonight I'm going to do a lot of soul search and get answers to all these questions. Thank you so very much, Mrs. Ify Oluku.
There's a question from Olga. Innocent. Sorry.
And because of time, we have 10 minutes to close the session. I know they have questions. Yes, I know they have questions. But we have it's about 10 or so minutes to 6, and we still have one or two. And I know you might not be able to do justice to the question properly because of time. So what can happen is you can share your email. I think you can announce that so that they can reach you via email, and then you can respond appropriately after this class.
Okay, you can. My Instagram and Facebook handle is on the screen right now. I'm still sharing my screen, so you can take down my handles and my number. Okay, let me type my email also. So you can follow me on these handles: Instagram at Ify Oluku, Facebook at Ify Oluku, or you can add my number on your WhatsApp and then send an email to Ify's mail. Oh no, I didn't.
So for the email, we can always send it through your president. We'll share it also again on the president's platform in case you didn't get it, so that you don't miss any information. So please, for those who we couldn't take your questions, it's important that you reach her through this channel. She's actually very open to hear from you. Please take advantage of this very free opportunity to get proper coaching and counsel on the way to go. Okay? So thank you very much, and we are so grateful. Please tell Mrs. Oluku how grateful you are. Send her a chat, send her a love note to tell her we are so grateful for this session that has blessed us. Please do that quickly on the chat so that she can see it as we wind down.
Thank you all for.
They love you already.
Oh. Wow, thank you. I'm so delighted.
Mommy, we love you.
Oh, I love you. I love you too. I love you back.
So you're already Mama Ify. So you can take that christening already.
Ah, I received it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So kind of you guys to share your feedback of how we appreciate the session. Thank you so very much. So very quickly, we'll take announcements, and then we will take the RIW anthem and close for today. So please, everybody, I want us to listen to the following announcements. I can see that a few of us are leaving, so please stay on and take these announcements because it will be beneficial to our classes going forward. First, the assignments. A lot of you, I have kept replying emails. Don't send your assignment on the body. So you put a content of over 100 words, 150 words on the body of your mail. That is not ethical. It is not good email etiquette. When you are sending a mail of such nature where you are told to do a write-up, an essay, proposal, you put it in an attachment. That makes it tidy. You put it in a Word document or a PDF document, okay? That is easy to download and read, okay? Everybody has Word, Microsoft Word, and PDF. So a lot of smartphones or channels to send your assignment. I do not want to be replying emails that you should send your assignment as an attachment. Please, we are all undergrads. We are supposed to know best practice. If you don't know, just search on Google. What's the best way to send an email when sending in volume? You will get answers. That's why you have a smartphone. Take advantage of it, please. Secondly, I think some people are taking for granted what we are doing here, and it is really, really discouraging, I must say, to say the least. It is discouraging. So as your commandant, I go through your charts as the classes are going on, and then I go through to see what we are doing on our videos. And I saw that for some of us, yesterday I saw someone wear a spaghetti top. You don't do that. This is a formal event. Are you going to wear a spaghetti top to your exam class or to an interview? We are raising leaders here. We are not joking. Money has been put to this session for you to have benefits during this COVID era. Your schools have not done anything. The government has not done so much to make sure that you are learning while you are at home during this COVID era because of the ASU strike. And Impact Your World said, despite the financial constraints, we'll put in investment into your future and put this training together. We do not have to do this, guys. Think about it. We do not have to, but we are committed to doing it putting ourselves on the line that everyone who attends this conference must excel as leaders in whatever path you have chosen. So we expect that level of seriousness and appreciation from you guys. So when I watch a video and I see someone plaiting her hair while classes are going on, are you even taking notes? Like, seriously, how are you taking notes? Are you even listening? So please, guys, this is very, very, very disturbing. Let it not repeat itself again. If I catch any untoward behavior, I'm going to find your name and I'm going to yank you off the conference. Please. It is not compulsory to be here. Okay? If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. But for those who are serious, who want to learn and they want to grow themselves as leaders and then by extension impact the ILC space, we want to have them here. But please, if you do not take this session seriously, do not come and make a ridicule of what we are doing. I beg of you. So please, whenever we turn on our video, make sure you are doing the right thing. You are well dressed. I appreciate those who have been turning on their video and I see them writing. It is engaging for the facilitator. That's good demeanor for the facilitator to see. It shows the facilitator is saying something when they see that you're taking notes on your video. But it is very discouraging for a speaker to see that I'm teaching and then someone is making a hair or someone is chatting in the background or people are playing in the background. It is not encouraging. So guys, please, let's turn a new leaf. We are leaders and we expect best practice from leaders. You are held to higher moral standards. You must know that. So please, let's take notes and adjust appropriately. Thirdly, tomorrow's session, Sunday, is going to start 3 p.m., not 4 p.m. 3 p.m., not 4 p.m. So Sundays will be 3 p.m., 3 to 5 p.m. So note that on your calendar and for your reminders. Note it as well that 3 p.m. So you are not late to class tomorrow and join at 4. So please tell your colleagues as well that I've logged out before now that classes start tomorrow at 3 p.m. and ends at 5 p.m. Then tomorrow we are having like a double dose. Somebody say double dose. I mean, we are loading you guys with so much. We are loading you guys with so much. And I hope you will take advantage of these things, guys. Some of us wish we had this. A lot of young people at home, we crave for this kind of sessions, right? So immediately after your classes tomorrow at 6 p.m., we are going to be having Dr. Henrietta take us on a class on starting a business in crisis. You want to listen to her. She's a Lagos Business School lecturer. So if you search online, how much does this cost to attend a class in Lagos Business School? You cannot pay less than 150,000 naira for a class, not to talk of a full training. For you to go to Lagos Business School to do your MBA, they're paying almost 10 million. And we are having someone come and facilitate that is a top level lecturer at the Lagos Business School to come and take a session tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. So immediately after your class tomorrow is with Engineer Olushola Aino. He's going to be taking your class on developing the leader within you. So you don't want to miss that class too. So 3 to 5. Then immediately after that, you are going to be taking a class from 6 o'clock. We are going to be doing it also on Zoom. We'll be sharing that link with you through your president. Then fourthly, we have feedback forms for all of you guys. So we'll be sharing the feedback form on your WhatsApp platform. So I'll be sharing on the president's group on WhatsApp. Then the president will forward to all the WhatsApp groups that has been created for the purpose of LTC. So please, we need your feedback from Mrs. Odumakinde's class. I'm sorry, Mrs. Bayekusi's class. I beg your pardon. Mrs. Christine Bayekusi's class on temperament yesterday. We need your feedback. So there's a form for her. There's also a form for Mrs. Ify Oluku, who just rounded up today. So that you are going to be filling 2 forms. So please, it's important that you fill those forms. It's helpful to take feedback so that we can improve what we churn out to you guys. That's how we improve the process of learning. Okay, so enough of talk. Now we close away. I just want to say thank you to all the staff advisors. We saw some of them here today. Thank you guys for paying attention. Again, we appreciate Mrs. Oluku for our session. We will now take the IYW anthem as we close. Over to you, our IT officer, Mr. Precious Ayerinde.
I am someone that may change. I'm just having take a stand against all who be strong. That's my one. And I will make this world better in the best way that I can. When tomorrow and forever comes, you stand strong. We are ready. We are able. We can change. When the time is, take a stand against all odds. We will stand strong. Imagine how long. We will bring this world a better place in the best way that we can. When tomorrow and strong. Stand strong. We will make this world a better place in the best way that we can. When tomorrow and forever stand strong. We will make this world a better place in the best way that we can. When tomorrow and forever stand strong. We are ready. We are able. We can change. Where the time is, take a stand against all odds. We will stand strong. Imagine how long.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Like someone said, this song, this anthem is stimulating. And I've always loved this anthem from my day one at Impact Your World at the Academy in 2013 when I attended a class like all of you guys. And every time we play this song, it just does something to your mind. Have an amazing, amazing evening, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you submit your assignment if you have not. I am your principal and I am watching. God bless you guys. Cheers.